Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask. It is Thursday, the 26th day of March. Today is Epilepsy Awareness Day, also known as Purple Day. So it's a day to wear purple. It's also National Nougat Day. You a fan of nougat?
Yes.
I think I like nougat. It's also National Spinach Day today. I'm a fan of spinach.
I also like spinach.
I remember when I was a kid.
I like fresh spinach.
Popeye used to
cooked,
eat spinach
but not
out of a
canned.
can.
Yeah. Ugh.
I like the fresh spinach
I don't
better.
like frozen either. But
And the whole Popeye thing, that was all based on a miscalculation of how good spinach was for you. They moved a decimal point, so it was 10 times better for you, they thought. But it's still good for you, so get out there and enjoy your spinach today. Also, we've got a Dear John letter coming up, and I don't have an expert to help me with this one. So, Heidi, you're going to have to stick around and help today.
okay, I can do that.
The last couple Thursdays, she's gotten a chance to scoot, and I just chatted with somebody else. But we could use your help as well. We posted the Dear John letter yesterday at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you should consider joining us for this amazing vacation.
My wife and I have been to this event the last 3 years, and we've had a blast.
Join us at the Sands.
Hear amazing music from Billy Idol,
Cheap Trick,
Belinda Carlisle,
Little River Band,
The Hooters,
Tesla,
Howard Jones,
and many more.
plus meet awesome stars from movies and TV.
It's the best week ever.
Learn more right now at thesands.rocks.
That's thesands.rocks.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new study found that 1 in 5 Americans think that aliens will invade the Earth in the next 50 years. So, giving it a whole 50 years, huh?
I don't think they really want to.
I don't know. It's crazy. There's been a lot of movies about this, and most of the time it's not been real positive. But think about what we would do if we would go, like we went to Mars. We sent, not people, but we sent a probe there. If we discovered life there, we wouldn't go there and blow it up. You know, I hope. That's not the plan anyway.
We would definitely take some home and we would study them and
but I
poke
think-
them and prod them.
But I think what we would do when we got there, we would try to, come in peace, I believe. I don't know. Who knows? I've got a link to this story. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Michigan State Police troopers followed a man about 6 miles through snow after he fled on foot at a rest stop. 6 miles the dude ran? Holy
Jeepers.
cow. The troopers, says from Cadillac, Michigan, tried to stop a driver at about 11 p.m., and 20-year-old Justin David Atkins pulled the car into a rest area and stopped on the far side of a semi-truck. So he pulled around so they couldn't see him. He got out of his car and fled on foot. They gave chase. He was tracked for about 6 miles through the snow and spotted at the Beacon and Bridge gas station. Arrested on foot. Turns out the reason he was so worried, he had a little bit of, alcohol in his system, no license, and no insurance. So that's what he was up to. So that's why he took off. Still,
do it.
Didn't help your case. Like, they had your car. They knew
now
who you
that's
were.
even worse.
Yeah, it just racked
You
up more
just
charges.
made it worse. Yeah.
Yeah, because now you got felony fleeing and eluding in addition to all of
Yep.
those. It's what happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. A leaked court tape shows that Amber Heard once smashed a door into Johnny Depp's head. What? What was going on
he's
there?
been saying all along she was extremely abusive.
No, that's not good. Don't do that to each other. Whether you're famous or not famous, don't do that to each other. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Listen to Uncle John. Don't do that to each other. Dr. Oz is encouraging couples who are stuck in quarantine to do the dirty deed in order to kill time and ease tension. So, Heidi, she's my wife, by the way. So for those of you who didn't know that, that sounded very inappropriate. And for those of you who did know that, that still probably sounded pretty inappropriate. But for the first time ever, I can say for sure I agree with Dr. Oz.
Jeez.
There's probably been a few things that he's said in the past that I've agreed with as well. I don't watch the program, but there have been a few things I've seen online where I'm like, what? What? But this one here, yeah, I'm all in. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Drinking too much can ruin your life. Alcohol and drug issues can cause problems at work, at home, and pretty much everywhere. If substance abuse has taken over your life and you want to quit, there is help. TimeForRehab.com could be the first step in the right direction for you. TimeForRehab.com would love to help you find a new life beyond addiction. Your insurance company may even cover the cost to help make this happen. You can learn more now at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Netflix is being asked to slow down their streaming speeds so the internet does not buckle from a huge surge in viewership.
Right.
So same number of people.
Yeah, I
but-
think I had read that.
But they actually already did this, not just Netflix, but Netflix, Amazon
Right.
Prime, YouTube Plus,
So they're being
Disney
asked
Plus,
to turn
whatever.
them down even more?
No, they already did this in Europe. This already happened,
Oh.
About, a week ago. I read a story about this happening in Europe. But now they're asking them to do that here as well because they're going, hey, we have a lot more people at home. And
Right.
for whatever reason, they're not reading a book. So
I've been reading.
I know you have.
Yeah.
Heidi, bonus points for you. I was going to read a book, but I can't find the book that I started reading 9 years ago when I was last reading books.
So start a new book. I'm sure you don't remember where you left off anyway.
I know exactly where I left off.
Yeah, you do.
No, that's when I got a smartphone, and I haven't read nearly as much now that I have a smartphone.
I
Remember
know,
back in
it's
the day?
really sad,
I used to
actually.
read 2 or 3 books at a time, and now I hardly ever read books, so I just feel like maybe I'm dumbing myself down a bit. A Las Vegas strip club is hosting drive-through shows in an effort to promote social distancing, because that's exactly what everybody had in mind. The social I don't know that that's really what they needed to do, but staff at a popular Houston restaurant got a $9,400 tip from regular customers
Whoa.
who wanted to help them during the shutdown. Couple came in for an early dinner. This is like a week ago, last Monday, so not Monday of this week.
$9,400.
After learning the restaurants in the county were going to be closing their dining rooms and only offering takeout and delivery service, they said, well, we'd like to do a little something to help you guys out. $9,400 tip.
Holy cow.
That is so cool. Hats off to the people who are doing things like that. And if you're in a position to do something like that...
Absolutely. I mean, if you can do it, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Eating 2 portions of mushrooms per week could cut your risk of abnormal brain decline in old age in half. So I love mushrooms. I need mushrooms at least twice a week, Heidi.
Okay.
Researchers found people who eat 300 grams or more of cooked mushrooms have a reduced risk of mild cognitive impairment. Mushrooms contain an amino acid which the body cannot make for itself.
Well, make sure you get some for supper.
Nice. I like mushrooms. Have I
I
mentioned
know
that?
you do. Yes, you
I should have been eating more mushrooms, then I would know if I mentioned that or not. And over 1 billion people are now confined to their homes right now. So there's a lot of folks at home. And if you happen to be one of them, thank you so much for bringing us into your home and listening. That's one of the things I have to say that I think it's really cool. There's still people listening to the radio and to online, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. And there are some people who are listening right now that don't get to listen typically, so thank you so much for joining us here on the John and Heidi Show. Coming up later in the program, we have this thing called a Dear John letter. If you would like to chime in with your advice, you can do that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Introducing InsuranceChicken.com. Why InsuranceChicken.com? Why not? Another insurance company has a duck, one has an emu, and that other company has a lizard. So InsuranceChicken.com is no more silly than any of those. Is it time for you to cross the road for your insurance? Don't be chicken. Check out InsuranceChicken.com. We'll help you peck out the best insurance rates we can find at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John letters. All right, Heidi, I got a good Dear John letter here, and sadly, I don't have any experts to help me this week.
You've got me.
Well, I got you. I don't know if you're going to be an expert in this either, though. I guess we're going to try. So let's try not to offend anybody, please. All right, here we go.
I
Dear
can't
John,
make any promises.
I think more than anything else, right now, I just need some comfort in my life. We seem to have society collapsing around us, and I'm stuck at home. I discovered that my job is not an essential position. I'm rethinking everything I know right now. I'm wondering if this would be a bad time to change careers to find something that would be needed no matter what. I feel like I was punched in the gut when I was told my job is not essential. What do I do every day? Why do I go there? I really think this epidemic will open my eyes and others to how we look at society. Do you think this would be a bad time to change careers? What would be a good long-term essential option? Any ideas? Signed, Feeling Lost. Well, feeling lost? I don't know if I'm going to be the best to give you an answer on this, and I don't even know who would I even call for an expert in this area.
I don't know.
Because we're kind of in uncharted territory here.
Yeah, this is all brand new for sure.
But here's one thing I would say. So you're feeling like you got punched in the gut because you were told your position is a non-essential position. I hope you understand. It doesn't mean non-essential ever.
Right.
It just means non-essential now.
Like right now when people are getting ill, only the people who absolutely positively have to be at work are the ones that need to be there. So they're not saying you're not essential and you're not wanted and you're not needed. And that's not what they're saying at all.
Whoever has you feeling that way, I think they did a poor job of communicating to you.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, I remember one time I had a guy that I worked with who, just the wording on how he would say things to people made people feel like their job wasn't important. And I actually talked to him about it. I said, you need to be careful how you're saying this because you make other people who work here feel, and that's a long time ago, not anywhere that I'm working now, but almost 20 years ago. I said, you make people feel like they don't matter.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I've never said they don't matter. And I said, no, you flat out said that you are right now not an asset, you're a liability. I heard you say that. You are a liability, not an asset. That makes people feel like they're not wanted.
Right.
So hopefully that's not what's going on where you're at here. Again, I don't know if we could have an expert in this field because
yeah.
But here's what I would tell you. You're asking we'll get right down to the brass tacks here because you're asking, is this a bad time to look at a career change? It really depends on you.
I wouldn't quit a job. I mean, you can always look and apply, but do not quit what you have now
until you have something
you have something else lined up. So it's never a bad time to look at improving yourself. Never.
And I don't have.
But never leave a job until you have another job.
And I don't have all the information in front of me because I don't know where you are in life. Are you 20-something? Are you?
That doesn't matter.
But here's what I'm saying.
It's never a bad time to always keep focusing on improving yourself. Never. You can do that anytime. It doesn't matter how old you are. So don't listen to John because he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Listen to John for a second, though. If you think, hey, I'm going to quit my job right now.
No, never. I just said don't quit your job.
I agree with that.
Okay, so you're restating what I've already stated.
I'm not restating what you said. I'm saying a whole new thing.
Oh, okay.
The whole new thing is I've got a friend who's in his upper 40s, and he has found it very difficult to find somebody who wants to hire somebody that's in their upper 40s. Again, depending on who you are.
It doesn't hurt to apply.
No, go for it.
Absolutely. But don't quit your job first. That's exactly what I said. She just restated what I already said.
I'm going to turn your mic up now. Notice this is the Dear John letter, not the Dear Heidi letter. So, again, the questions were, do you think it's a bad time to change careers? I don't think there's ever a bad time or a good time. It all depends on your personal situation. If you're working somewhere where you don't feel like you're contributing because they're telling you that you're not contributing, again, if they just said that it's a non-essential position, that's not what they're saying. Because it doesn't mean you're non-essential ever. It's just in the grand scheme of things now that might be non-essential. And then what would be a good long-term essential option, so where it's something where you're needed. Think about the people right now who are the unsung heroes most of the time, and right now people are going, and even
jobs and truck drivers,
people that are doing deliveries, and
yes, there's so many. So
I guess if I were sitting in your shoes right now going, what could I do that's going to be something that's always needed? I'd find something that those people are busy right now, and maybe that's what you do.
Yep.
So there's some ideas. You can chime in with your advice as well if you would like. That's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you should consider joining us for this amazing vacation.
My wife and I have been to this event the last 3 years, and we've had a blast.
Join us at the Sands.
Hear amazing music from Billy Idol,
Cheap Trick,
Belinda Carlisle,
Little River Band,
The Hooters,
Tesla,
Howard Jones,
and many more.
Plus, meet awesome stars from movies and TV.
It's the best week ever.
Learn more right now at thesands.rocks.
That's thesands.rocks.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There's an entire town under a rock. So if you ever hear anybody say, what, have you been living under a rock? Well, maybe they have.
Would be yes.
If they're from Spain, this tiny town has 3,000 residents, and they live and they work and they play in a gorge beneath a huge rock, like an outcropping. Homes are built right into the rock, provides so much shelter that historians think the area has been occupied by humans since the Stone Age.
Really?
They're going, this thing's been here a long, long time. So it's really kind of cool. I've got the rest of that story. It's in the show notes if you want to read all about it.
That's in Spain?
Yeah, it's in Spain. So
do you have the name of the town?
I do, but I can't say it. That's why I skipped it.
I would be very interested.
I'll do my best. Setenel de las Bodegas in Spain.
So are there pictures on this link?
I don't have a link. I have the name.
Oh.
I'll Google it. I'll do that for you.
We'll Google it. I want to see it. I want to see the town. I want to see what the houses look like.
I'll throw a link in the show notes. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline, China, heading to Wuhan, China. And very positive news, no new cases of coronavirus for the first time since the outbreak began. And this story is actually from like about a week ago. So about a week ago, they quit having new cases being reported, which I believe is good news. I hope that's good news. So, again, some good news out of Wuhan, China.
Or maybe they're just not saying anything anymore because they're getting so much hassle.
I sure hope that's not what it is. But I do have a link to the story if you want to read all about it. Like I said, it's from about a week ago, not quite a week ago. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Drinking too much can ruin your life. Alcohol and drug issues can cause problems at work, at home, and pretty much everywhere. If substance abuse has taken over your life and you want to quit, there is help. TimeForRehab.com could be the first step in the right direction for you. TimeForRehab.com would love to help you find a new life beyond addiction. Your insurance company may even cover the cost to help make this happen. You can learn more now at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. An ex-con in Florida swindled $3,000 from a woman he met on a dating app. Then,
how come people, you're just going to give money to strangers?
Don't do that. Then he coaxed her into sending nude photos of herself in order to be repaid. 35-year-old Michael William McDougal posed as a man named Michael Reynolds on Plenty of Fish while getting acquainted with his victim. The pair moved the conversation to Facebook, where McDougal said he needed to borrow $1,000 after losing his bank card. She loaned him $3,000 over the course of several days. He promised to pay her back, but notifications she received from PayPal were bogus. Investigators say McDougal rather later messaged the woman using his real name in an attempt to clear up any of the victim's confusion about the alter ego. He even bragged that he could cover the victim's losses out of sheer generosity and offered to pay her $5,000 if she sent some nude photos to his cousin. McDougal was arrested on Thursday with charges of extortion.
And she sent them?
Well, no.
Okay.
And scheme to defraud has been released from custody after posting a $4,500 bond, so he had the money. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in prison, so don't do that. This should have been our moment of dub.
And don't give people you don't know money.
Don't give anybody money. Don't send nude photos. Do we really have to go through this?
Right? I know. Come on.
It's today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. According to police, as a manager worked nearby to sanitize a section of a grocery store, a 53-year-old woman was licking the handle of a freezer door. She later told police that she was protesting the coronavirus that way. The odd act of defiance occurred Saturday in the freezer section of Festival Foods in Wisconsin, as detailed in the police report. It says the manager told officers that he was sanitizing the handles in the freezer section when he looked over, and a woman, later identified as Nora Linhors, was licking the door handles of the freezer. The manager immediately sanitized the licked handles and called 911. Police said that they've not used this method of protest in any other locations, so they were really concerned about this and said that her behavior was uncalled for. Really?
And what was the reasoning again?
She was just protesting. She's 53, by the way. So
protesting what?
The coronavirus. She's like, I'm just licking door handles and stuff because I'm protesting. Don't do that. I mean, I don't know if
protesting a virus.
I don't get it. Don't do that. Why would you lick a public door handle?
Gross.
Don't. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Introducing InsuranceChicken.com. Why InsuranceChicken.com? Why not? Another insurance company has a duck, one has an emu, and that other company has a lizard. So InsuranceChicken.com is no more silly than any of those. Is it time for you to cross the road for your insurance? Don't be chicken. Check out InsuranceChicken.com. We'll help you peck out the best insurance rates we can find at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Now, fake news or Florida? Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it hashtag fake news made up just to trick you and amuse me? Ready?
Alrighty, I'm ready.
All right, fake news or Florida? Florida man got naked from the waist down and made lewd gestures at underage girls after he crashed into the car that they were in. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
It is a true story.
Yeah,
it is a very bizarre. What? I don't understand. I thought that was like the fakest of fake news you could possibly make up. When that was sent to me, I was even trying to decide, do I even read this one on the air? It's so ridiculous, but it's true. Doesn't seem like it, but it's true. Coming up, we've got some good news to get to. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up with good news. I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And this is a really cool story. But I hope that it ends well for the guy that's doing this too. A New Jersey restaurant owner takes out a $50,000 loan to pay his employees during this epidemic that we're going through. Mm-hmm. So it says the owner of Frederico's Pizza and Restaurant in New Jersey took out a $50,000 loan to make sure his employees would continue to get checks during the time of social distancing, which is really cool that he's doing that.
Right.
But he shouldn't have to put himself in hock to get through this. So it says, after the governor ordered restaurants close their dining rooms, he went straight to the bank. He said, my father told us a long time ago, you've got to take care of your employees first, because without those employees, you don't have a business at all.
That's right.
He said, I definitely owe them a debt, even if it means I might go into debt. So this gentleman who owns Frederico's in Belmar, New Jersey, took out a $50,000 line of credit and made sure that 20 employees that he has made a promise to them saying, no matter what happens over the next couple months, you are still going to get a paycheck.
Right.
He said, I have a lot of friends who work as bartenders and waiters. They have no idea what they're going to do with themselves.
Right.
And he says, when I tell them what Morin did, they want to know, why am I so lucky to work for one of the greatest people? Oh, this was a lady who works for him, Chelsea Phillips.
For somebody else. Yeah.
So she works for him, and she said, hey, this is what he's doing. I'm not saying that other people need to do this, but what I'm saying is he did this.
Right.
And I think that we need to
it's wonderful.
Make sure that we shine a spotlight on people who are doing awesome things right now. And again, here's one of the things that I've said all along. During the darkest time, that is when the stars shine the brightest.
Yep.
And you're going to see people who, during times like this, go above and beyond to do something they don't have to do, but they say, hey, it feels like the right thing to do.
Right.
And I think it's really, really cool.
Awesome people out there.
And like I said, I sure hope that people return the favor, and when things are back to normal, they really, really help this guy out as well, because again, he didn't have to do that, but he chose to. So very, very cool that he did. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Thursday. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.